Hello everyone. In the previous session we have learned text generation using RNN and GPT-2. In this session we will be talking about how that things are done, the text generation, summarization are done, what are the processes behind that. We need to load the data, pre-processing is required, tokenization, vectorization, all these things are internally required in order to do the applications like generation and summarization. So let us talk about these processes which are happening. So using the GPT-2 model for tasks like text generation or fine tuning is nothing but performing a specific task once we have learnt the language. So we are needing to properly load the data, pre-process the data, transform the input text into a format which the model can understand. So for doing all these things, the process involves various steps. What are the various steps? Data loading, text pre-processing, tokenization, vectorization. So let us talk about these four processes which the model uses during the process of various applications. So the first one, data loading. This refers to the process of importing the data set. So which data set are you going to use in order to do the specific application? From the file or from the database, it has to be imported into the memory which can be processed by the model. What are the common file formats we are using? It could be a text file, it could be a CSV file, it could be a JSON file, etc. And the data set can consist of raw text, you can have articles, you can have a book or an entire paper that has been published, etc. Any form of textual content. So we are going to use the text information because what are the applications we have? Text generation as well as text summarization. We need to have the text information. In order to import the data, generally we use either Python's pandas or we use data loader in PyTorch, either of these things, or data set in Hugging Face. These are some of the tools which will help us to import the data set into the memory for further processing. So what is the code generally we try to do? Say for example, I am trying to load the data from a text file, consider. So how do I give that one? With open data.txt, this is the text file I have, open it in read mode as file and text data is equal to file.read. So now entire data from the file has been loaded into data underscore text underscore data. After data is loaded, what is the next step we are going to talk? Text pre-processing. Under pre-processing, what happens? We have understood that the data can be a raw data or it can be unprocessed data which might have some missing values, which might have text of non-uniform lengths, etc. So how do I take care of all these things? That comes under pre-processing. So during pre-processing, what are the common steps that we are doing? Lower casing. In order to maintain consistency, entire data set can be converted into lowercase. For that matter, you can do into uppercase also, but most of the time because we prefer to read the text in lowercase, we are going to convert it into lowercase. And why are we trying to do into lowercase? Just to have convenience. Entire text has come into a consistent format, but GPT-2 models are case sensitive. Once you have converted your data into lowercase, it generates only lowercase summaries, right? Then removing unwanted characters, some special characters, extra spaces, sometimes you might get some tags embedded into that. So removing all those things is the next step. What is the next one? Handling punctuation. So GPT-2 can process punctuation symbols also as tokens. So either you don't want to have punctuation marks, remove them. You don't mind processing those things also, let them be there. Need not have an explicit removal of punctuation marks. How do I do the conversion into lowercase. My entire data is in text underscore data. So what am I trying to do? Text underscore data dot lower. You are trying to convert it into lowercase. At the same time, you are stripping out. Either side of the white spaces are stripped off. This is the basic pre-processing. I don't say pre-processing stops with lowercase and stripping of the white spaces. This is the basic pre-processing step. Then tokenization, we are trying to divide the data into specific tokens, wherein the token can be a word or it can be a character. What is the granularity of the token? We will be deciding based on the applications. So tokenization is the process of converting the input text into smaller units, which could be words, subwords or characters. And what is GPT-2 using? Byte pair encoding tokenization. What is byte pair tokenization? This is splitting the text into subword units, allowing the model to handle wide range of vocabulary. It will try to divide the word into subwords, may not be the entire word as a token. Encoding text, the tokenizer converts raw text into token IDs. It will not generate the tokens, instead it gives an ID to each and every token, and those IDs are considered as the tokens. Now how are we trying to do? From transformers, import GPT-2 tokenizer. If I am using this first one, what am I trying to do? Tokenizer is equal to, you are initializing which tokenizer is to be used, and what is the encoded input is equal to tokenizer of, this is an example sentence, return the tensors and return tensors as point, right? So what am I trying to do? Instead of taking the entire text file, I am trying to give an example sentence which has to be broken down into tokens. It ensures the output format and the PyTorch understands using tensors, and the tokenizer outputs the input IDs and the tokenized representations, which are optionally other elements like attention mask. What is vectorization? It is the process of converting the tokens into numerical representations so that you can feed them into neural network, because here we are trying to do dot product, dot scaled product, etc. Sometimes you can go for multiplication also. So in such cases, the tokens are to be converted into numerical representations, or we are also calling them as vectors. Token IDs. Tokenization in GPT-2 provides token IDs. Attention mask. An attention mask is often used to specify which tokens should be attended and which can be ignored. So the attention defines weights to the tokens. Higher weighted tokens should be attended and least weight tokens can be ignored. Model input. Once the input text is tokenized, the token IDs are passed as input to the GPT-2 model for various tasks. It can start with generating the generate the text or do summarization, etc. So you are trying to do encoded input into a vector like this. After that, what are we trying to do? After tokenization, the next step is to feed the tokenized input to the GPT-2 model, which is already pre-trained, or if you are going for any specific task like summarization, go for the fine-tuned model. The model has already learnt the word embeddings, positional encodings, etc. So it can perform the specified task. So what is the process entire summary we are trying to do here? Data loading, we are loading the raw data into the memory, then pre-processing is happening, then tokenization, converting it into a vector wherein you are generating the IDs or numerical IDs for the tokens, and the model is fed into the GPT-2. And the following, when you are following these steps, What exactly it is trying to do is, if at all you are performing a generalized task, the model has already learnt the language, so it will try to do that. If at all you are going for any specific task, you are going to feed these vectorized or tokenized data to the fine-tuned model and it will do the specific task. Thank you.